The modern world simply can't function without mining. Mined materials are needed to construct roads and hospitals, to build automobiles and houses, to make computers and generate electricity. They are required to provide the many goods and services that consumers enjoy. Mining is also economically important because it brings foreign exchange and is a contributor to the national gross domestic product. Thanks to the world's growing demand for products, the mining industry will also grow as the years go on. Oh, hello, and welcome to another edition of Bazaar. This time we are going to be looking at Iran's mega mining industry. Mining contributes a lot to the country's economy, but what do we really know about it? How does it operate in national and international markets? And who are the giants in this booming sector? That's what we will find out. So put on your hard hats, let's go mining through today's Bazaar. To answer some of these questions, we visited Chador Malu Mining and Industrial Company. It is a public joint stock that was first established in 1992 and began full-scale commercial production in 1999.
کارخانه گندل سازی اردکان به عنوان اولین کارخانه در مجتمع صنعتی چادر ملو در سال 86 با همکاری شرکت‌های ABB سوئیس، کوبه استیل ژاپن و تایم اسپانیا و به دست نیروهای متخصص ایرانی راه اندازی شد. گندل سازی اردکان به روش آلیس چارمرز تولید میکنه که یکی از با کیفیت ترین گندله ها رو ما در کشور تولید میکنیم. با احداث این کارخانه زمینه اشتغال 500 نفر به صورت مستقیم و 5000 نفر به صورت غیر مستقیم فراهم شده. در حال حاضر با تلاش پرسنل و کارشناسان متخصصای بومی خودمون ظرفیت کارخانه از 3.4 تقریباً به 3.7 ارتقا یافته.
This iron ore producing company is composed of many parts which all work together to make a production value chain, and it all starts at its mines in the east of Yazd province. The Chador Malu deposits were first discovered in 1940 and are considered one of the largest iron reserves in the country. Due to the sheer size of the deposits, its evaluation study was completed nearly 4 decades after its discovery. This mine has well over 720 million tons of mineable material. This includes 400 million tons of proven iron ore reserves alone. Other important mineral materials are also found at this mining site.
تجهیزاتی که اینجا نصب شده خب تجهیزات کاملی نبود. نواقص زیادی ما داشتیم و به ویژه در بخش نیتروژن که عمده ترین و میتونم بگم گلوگاه کار هات چارج بود. تأمین این نیتروژن و رسوندنش به بخش‌های مختلف هات چارج. توسعه نیتروژن در دستور کار قرار گرفت و با تجهیزات موجودی که البته تو انبار بود، توی خط نبود، منتقل شد به محل مناسبش. لاینکشی‌های مربوطه انجام شد. اینا همه ظرف مدت خیلی کوتاهی اجرا شدن.
This company can produce up to 7 million tons of iron ore concentrate per year. Also, it produces 1 million tons of crushed iron ore for blast furnaces and export purposes.
توی برنامه‌های آتی ما در کوتاه مدت ما یک بحث توازن در مجموعه زنجیره تولید رو داریم که امیدوار هستیم در 2-3 ماه آینده یه 300,000 تن ظرفیت سازی جدید رو در واحد فولادسازی انشالله شاهدش باشیم و با تکمیل هات شارژ ما بتونیم هم زنجیره تولیدمون رو اقتصادی تر بکنیم و هم انشالله مزیت‌های صادراتی رو بهترش بکنیم و از اون طرف هم یه ظرفیت 300,000 تن جدید رو در واحد فولاد رو انشالله شاهدش باشیم. به دنبالش ما به دنبال توسعه هم واحد گندله، واحدهای مگا مدول جدید با ظرفیت‌های بالاتر و نهایتاً مجموعه فولادسازی با ظرفیت بالای 1 میلیون تن در سال هستیم.
This mining company wants to increase its iron ore output to 8 million tons per year. In order to do so, it has begun construction of its fourth production line. It is also completing its steel value chain, which will be able to produce 2 million tons of steel annually when it becomes operational.
ما خوشبختانه با داشتن گاز طبیعی ارزان در کشور و در دسترس، انرژی نسبتاً ارزان، نیروی انسانی با تجربه و ارزشی که داریم، جایگاه خیلی خوبی رو میتونیم در تولید فولادهای کیفی و ورود به عرصه بازارهای فولادهای کیفی رو داشته باشیم.
شرکت صنعتی و معدنی چادرملو در راستای تحقق اهداف چشمانداز افق 1404 مبنی بر تولید 50 میلیون تن فولاد در سال وام‌های بسیار بزرگی برداشت که خوشبختانه در سال گذشته با تولید بیش از 25 میلیون تن فولاد توسط جمهوری اسلامی ایران در جایگاه دهم برترین کشورهای تولید کننده فولاد در دنیا قرار گرفت و شرکت چادرملو به عنوان یکی از قطب‌های صنعت فولاد نقش چشمگیر در این موفقیت داشت. سیاست چادرملو مبنی بر پرهیز از خامفروشی و ایجاد زنجیره تولید فولاد باعث کسب ارزش افزوده و ایجاد اشتغال و ایجاد رونق اقتصادی در منطقه کویری ایران شد.
Well, you might be interested to know that mining activities also use a great deal of water. This sector uses water for mineral processing, slurry transport, and other needs. Mine sites are often situated in areas where water is already scarce. Using underground water resources can be a hassle, particularly if these sources are quickly depleted. So, what do mining companies do to supply their water needs? Chadormalu mines are the biggest suppliers of iron ore to Iran's steel industries, and its large-scale operations require a lot of water. So, it has established a vast water network that transfers water from the Persian Gulf to its facilities. Its desalination plant also provides water to the communities in the vicinity. It also has a combined cycle power plant that supplies its energy needs. There are plans underway to execute a solar power plant as well.
ما یک پروژه‌ای رو توی نیروگاه سیکل ترکیبی صرف انجام دادیم که باعث شد نزدیک به 17% افزایش ظرفیت ایجاد بکنیم و اون پروژه سیستم خنک کنه، نصب سیستم خنک کنه مدیا بود که به هر حال کولرهایی قبل از هوای ورودی به کمپرسورهای توربین‌های گاز ما احداث شد و تونستیم در تابستون تا 17% افزایش ظرفیت رو روی خروجی توربین‌های گازمون ایجاد بکنیم و خب خوشبختانه بسیار طرح موفق و موثری بود در کوتاه‌ترین زمان. یعنی این طرح حدود 4 ماه طول کشید.
The main mine is a large open pit which is 190 meters deep in the ground. High-tech heavy machinery is used to extract and transport mineral material from this area. Subcontractors operate over 120 units of various machinery needed for mining at this site. The mine also is connected to the National Railroad network to transfer its products. These railways connect the company to ports and other down-the-line customers.
ما پس از اینکه کنسانتره در معدن چادرملو بارگیری میشه، توسط واگن و کامیون کنسانتره به گندره‌سازی در واقع انتقال پیدا میکنه. پس از دپوسازی و همگنسازی ما با توسط ریکرایمر برداشت میکنیم.
Like many in this sector, the company is registered in the Tehran Stock Exchange. Unsurprisingly, it is one of the largest iron ore producers listed on the TSE. This firm has faced many obstacles along the course of its operating years. But overcoming these challenges has helped the company become a giant among Iranian mining companies today.
بحث بومی سازی رو تو دستور کار داریم. یعنی با توجه به اینکه بارها و بارها دوستان خارج از کشور دست ما رو تو کوسه گردو گذاشتن، مجبور هستیم که خودمون طراحی کنیم، خودمون بسازیم. هات شارژ هم از این موضوع مستثنا نبود. ما تلاش کردیم قطعاتی رو که میتونیم دسترسی بهشون داریم بتونیم داده برداری بکنیم، امکان سنجی بکنیم و تامین کنندگان بالقوه رو ما شناسایی کردیم.
Here's an interesting fact. Iran has over 57 billion tons of mineral reserves. That's a lot. Somewhere around 37 billion tons of that total are proven reserves, meaning they are mineable. That's according to the Geological Survey and Mineral Exploration Agency of Iran. Iron, copper, zinc, aluminium, cement, and other minerals are also extracted from the 6,000 mines in the country. Figures from Iran's Geological Survey and Mineral Exploration Agency show that 410 million tons of minerals were extracted last year. The Ministry of Industry predicted the value of Iran's mineral production will reach $22 billion this year. Out of the 10,000 mines in Iran, 4,000 mines are idle. The ongoing revival plans have increased employment and production. Currently, there are over 100,000 miners employed in the industry, and value-added mining products are up by 60%. Iran's mining industry is one that provides raw materials to other industries. In the first half of 2020 alone, the country produced 50% of the global production of sponge iron. Much of the iron is allocated to the domestic steel industry. This year, the World Steel Association ranked Iran as the 10th largest steel maker in the world. Iran holds the world's largest zinc reserves. It also has the 9th largest copper reserves and the 10th largest iron ore and uranium reserves. With 7% of the world's mineral reserves, the export of mineral products generates a lot of foreign revenue. But these export values could be much higher if value is added to the raw material. Last year, nearly 55 million tons of mineral products were exported. The value of these exports amounted to over $7 billion, which is expected to be higher for this year. And of course, steel topped the list with an export value of over $4 billion. Export of copper products also brought in over $1 billion last year. Iran exports mineral products to 120 countries around the world. There is so much more that can be said about this industry, but for now, I'm going to hand the action over to my dear colleague out there on the field for another exciting report. Take it away.
Water is the driving force of nature. Leonardo da Vinci had it right. Water is the most essential part of our existence. When we want to look for life on a remote planet, the first thing we do is look for water. Our own bodies are 72% water. Now, with that said, I guess no one can really refute the importance of the role water plays both around and within us. And who can understand water better than a company that works on the different ways to wield water for its customers' use on a daily basis, striving to ensure that its customers get an excellent and holistic water experience every time. But still, everything has a beginning.
Why did you decide to enter this industry?
خدمت ما در زمینه تولید شیرالات بهداشتی برمیگرده به حدود 30 سال گذشته و از سال 2015 تصمیم گرفتیم بنده و اخوی با رویکرد جدید و خلاقیت‌های جدیدتری در زمینه شیرالات و تجهیزات بهداشتی ساختمان ورود پیدا کنیم و در این زمینه موفق شدیم. در حال حاضر بیش از 600 قلم اقلام بهداشتی و ساختمانی در این مجموعه تولید میشه با کیفیت و طرح‌های متنوع و جدید.
From raw materials to the production of sand cores over to casting, demolding and cutting, polishing and plating, and finally to assembly, pressure testing and packaging, we are going to take you step by step through the entire bathroom and kitchen fittings and accessories production process.
When it comes to designing a water tap, the outer shell isn't the only important thing. There are many things crammed into a faucet, like for example this cartridge valve or this little thing that's called a stem, I believe. And that's what all of these people here are doing. Designing, designing, designing.
Once a design is in place, engineers get to work, creating CAD files to confirm the form, fit, and function of every tap. The actual life of a faucet starts with sand. Yes, sand. Quartz sand with 99% purity that's used to make the compact cores in casting. The prepared sand cores are placed in molds to ensure the cast faucets have clear and open waterways to cool properly in the casting area, where the faucets begin to take shape.
در حال حاضر گروه صنعتی رادیس با 90 نفر پرسنل و در فضای بالغ بر 4000 متر مشغول به تولید اقلام ساختمانی متنوع من جمله شیرالات بهداشتی کلاسیک، اهرمی، شیرهای تکی، علمهای یونیورسل و یونیکا جهت مصارف حمام و شلنگ‌های آب گرم کن و شلنگ‌های فنری هستش. و برنامه توسعه‌ای ما برای سال 2022 اشتغالزایی برای 300 نفر و در فضای بالغ بر 15000 متر.
Here, a low-lead brass or copper alloy forms the feed material required for casting. The molten alloy is manually poured into the cavity fitting of the mold, rotating them so that any air escapes and the molten alloy fills all the open spaces within. The semi-finished cast pieces are moved on to the sandblasting area, wherein the remaining sand is removed from the surface of the casted parts before they roll on to the next stage, where CNC machines enter the fray.
The tubes that are later placed into corrugated, flexible stainless steel hoses are made here. So your raw material, which is usually a polymer or polyethylene, is fed to the device, heated, molded, and systematically cooled to achieve the end result. What sets you apart from your rivals, both domestic and international?
اولین مورد تنوع بسیار بالای محصولات ماست و در مراحل بعدی کیفیت، طراحی بروز و مدرن و خدمات پس از فروش هستش که ما در زمینه خدمات پس از فروش شرکت ما برای محصولاتی که تولید میکنه 5 سال گارانتی تعویض رو قرار داده.
CNC machines are capable of performing various precision tasks that are required for the faucets to prepare them for a later stage in the manufacturing process, including boring, threading, and fine drilling. After the machining process, each and every tap is sent off for grinding and polishing to ensure a super smooth fine surface, and later, if the tap is to have a polished surface, it will be buffed to a high shiny finish, and if it is to have a textured surface, it will be brushed.
Once the braided or corrugated stainless steel hoses have been cut into the required lengths, they are threaded with the flexible tubes we saw earlier, and then fitted with the inner and outer joints and of course rubber gaskets. And that's where you get the connector stainless steel hoses that you use in your kitchen or for your dishwasher or in your faucet.
As you just saw, various components have to be assembled before these shells can truly be called a faucet or kitchen tap. Before the final step, all parts are cleaned in preparation for plating and laser etching.
When pressure testing pipes, taps and hoses to ensure system integrity or to locate leaks, hand-operated testers are used to make sure that your environment is safer for the workers, as you can see behind me. After all of the taps and hoses have been given the green light, they are moved on for assembly and then packed.
After the final quality inspection is completed, the parts can be shipped to customers wherever they may be. Here, it's not only speed, but precision that matters.
Can you tell me which countries you export to, and of course, what's the market response? How do they respond to Iranian products?
در حال حاضر گروه صنعتی رادیس دارای 12 نمایندگی فعال در 7 کشور دنیا، کشورهای عربی، کشورهای آسیای میانه هستش و برنامه ما در انتهای سال 2022 افزایش صادرات به 12 کشور دنیا.
Yes, another splendid adventure. Many thanks. Now, before we finish off today, let's take a look at some news and trends in the mining industry. The Iranian government is seeking ways to increase its output from the mining and minerals industry and is looking towards cooperation with China in this area. Well, that sounds practical. Based on the Mines and Minerals Industries Commission of the Chamber of Commerce, some $80 billion have been pledged by China. This money will be invested in Iran's mining sector. An official with the commission said this investment is part of the 25-year cooperating agreement between the two countries. The hope is to expand productions and exports while generating employment. Also, the investments will help developments in other fields such as infrastructures and transportation. The Iran-China Comprehensive Cooperation document was signed in Tehran between the two countries in March 2021. Iran is increasing its self-reliance and enhancing its capabilities to develop its mining sector by indigenizing technology for the industry. Domestic production and locally manufacturing technology in the mining sector has saved the country nearly $1 billion. That's according to Imidro, which is Iran's top holding company in the mining sector. Along the lines of Iran's domestic production policy, 9 other large mining companies saved $350 million in the first half of last year. The Ministry of Industry, Mining and Trade also announced that it had a program for domestic production of required parts and equipment. The program includes an allocation of over $3 billion to indigenize equipment used in the mining sector. Iran has made a gold discovery in the southeast of Sistan and Baluchistan province, which has now been dubbed as the mineral rainbow of Iran. Exploration and survey of the region revealed a definite reserve of 8 tons of the precious metal. The provincial government has already called for investors for further exploration of the area. The capacities of this zone will be used for the economic prosperity of the region. Southeast Sistan and Baluchistan has some of the most economic mines with reserves of titanium, copper and gold. The Ministry of Industry, Mining and Trade announced it had identified 1,000 promising gold prospects across the country. Well, that wraps up our program for today. Drop us a line at our email or social media and let us know what you think about this industry. We love hearing from you. It's important to us. I have been Samson Sees you in the next Bazaar.